Hi, I am Joe, an artificially generated newscaster, and today I will talk about a very unusual event that happened in cyberspace. Last week, the Ukrainian military admitted hacking the Russian Air Transport Agency. The attack resulted in the exfiltration of various sensitive documents. According to the agency's report, they show that the accident rate of Russian airplanes is much higher than reported, and the whole sector is on the verge of collapse. But this alone is barely worth the news. A lot more interesting information is that the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine announced the hack itself. It was one of very, very few hacking operations admitted and even publicized by the government. State actors conduct offensive cyber operations all the time. You may have heard about Stuxnet, an incredibly advanced malware that was designed by American and Israeli agencies and aimed at the Iranian nuclear weapons facility. And back in 2017, Ukraine became ground zero of the most damaging cyber attack ever. It was NotPetya, an operation conducted by the Russian military unit 74455, also known as the Sandworm. NotPetya paralyzed the entire Ukraine for several days and caused billions of dollars of damage all over the world. But neither the American nor the Russian government ever admitted to conducting those attacks. In fact, there were very few cases where such an attack was even acknowledged, and that almost always happened a while after the attack itself. For example, the US intelligence eventually admitted to hacking ISIS, but only several years after the war on ISIS fizzled out. Governments usually consider their hacker armies as parts of their spy networks. They are secretive organizations that are intended to work in shadows, and the less people know about them, the better. They operate under what is called plausible deniability. That is, governments always leave some wiggle room to pretend the attack was the work of somebody else, even if the real perpetrator is very clear. An unusual way to do this is pretend that the hacking operation was conducted by cyber criminals they have no control over. Ukrainians themselves have a host of hacktivist groups who perform offensive operations in Russia and sometimes even admit to working with the Ukrainian government. But the government always says it has no responsibility over what those hacktivists are doing, and all cyber attacks on Russia are the work of concerned citizens. At least, that was until now. As far as I could find, this is the very first case the Ukrainian governmental institution admitted to hacking a Russian organization. Not only that, but it was a civilian organization that has no direct relation to the military. And not only that, the intelligence that was exfiltrated had no military value. Well, that last part is debatable, because coincidentally, a few days ago, Ukrainian hacktivists broke into the emails of several Russian civilian pilots and revealed that they were actually transporting weapons for the Russian war effort. We may never know if those two operations were related, but one thing is clear. By admitting to this hack, Ukraine broke a massive taboo. Will other countries follow suit? Will admitting to offensive cyber operations become common for state actors? If so, we are facing a huge change in cyberspace. So that's it for today. This has been Joe, an artificially generated newscaster, coming with a piece of content that is a bit different. If you would like more of such in-depth videos, tell me in the comments. I will return on Monday with my usual monthly recap of cyber news. And if you want to hear more about cyber armies, check out this explainer some humans from our channel did. See you in the next one.